Today I'll be giving my thoughts on the trend for the content creator community whenever there is a new weapon or item in Destiny. Between YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, content creators blow the PvP weapon's strength and its viability completely out of proportion in a seeming attempt to clickbait. For my content personally, I take a top percent PvP perspective, and I feel like my reasoning is well-rounded and that my subscribers trust my judgment on a weapon and the sandbox. Specifically, some recent examples include talking about Shayura's Wrath, a submachine gun that can roll kill clip, killing wind, and have max range on the 600 RPM archetype. And although that archetype isn't competitive, it's the fact that you have any submachine gun that can teeter on hand cannon distance, which allows for some unique weapon loadout combinations that, yes, can be very competitive. So I stand by that being insane. The other very divisive one that I said, and I'm saying divisive because my comment section did not like me saying that the Vex mythoclast is trash. Or more appropriately, it belongs in the trash. From that Bold and Brash episode of SpongeBob. Y'all know the reference. So I initially thought that raw gameplay of the Vex mythoclast would suffice if it was good raw gameplay that came earlier than the other content creators so you guys could get a sense of the weapon. But the thing about my gameplay and a lot of other content creator gameplay is that we can make any weapon in the game look good, even a trash weapon like the Vex mythoclast. And I was hoping you guys would pick up on it when watching the raw gameplay, but these are the reasons why Vex is bad. Primarily, it drops off at 21.5 meters, which, surprise surprise, is some submachine gun drop off. So although you do have a pretty competitive time to kill a .83, you can only utilize that within submachine gun distance where you're fighting other things with similar TTKs, or in the multimach's case, a better TTK at .67. This fact alone forces the Vex mythoclast into an identity crisis. If its range is low, then naturally you pair it with the sniper rifle so that you can cover more ranges. But if you're pairing it with the sniper rifle to just clean up with the auto, then you unlock a linear fusion, which the snipe arguably does even better. And I'm not knocking the linear fusion aspect of this Vex mythoclast. It's excellent, maybe the best linear in the entire game, simply because of the zoom. And it's not like you're going to be seeing much of the linear fusion anyway, because against similarly skilled opponents, it's really difficult to pick up a double kill. When you start looking at the sandbox as a whole, it paints a really good picture as to why the Vex is bad. You have fast movement with burst damage weapons like hand cannons that provide an accurate shot from the air while also having a farther damage drop off than this Vex with a only slightly worse TTK on the 140, and if you're damage boosted, the 120 is 0.5, so it shreds the Vex. And then if you also throw down a glacier to add damage resistance, you're still stacking everything towards hand cannons. The Vex doesn't even hold a candle. And don't get me wrong, the Vex is a beautiful, fun weapon. It's a fun minigame to play in PvP, but it's just not competitive. It's not good, it belongs in the trash, and I stand by that. And just because I say a weapon is trash now, does not mean in 2 months that I won't say it's the best weapon in the game, because that can happen. The sandbox is all relative. For example, a new exotic that benefits fusion rifles could come out, and that might make Vex the best thing in the game, even though nothing has changed with Vex. Unfortunately, the last word has went through this, but in the opposite direction. With all of the stasis quirks in the game, with Charge with Light giving you damage bonuses, and 120s having so much flexibility in their range, as well as when damage boosted a competitive TTK with the last word, damage resistance from glaciers making last word use an entire magazine on one person, even if you have perfect aim with the last word, it's still not the best option for the effort. And trust me, the gun does humble your aim and is rewarding, but it's just not worth the effort when stasis complements other guns to give you more reward with significantly less risk. That'll be a future video, I promise. But I say all this because, despite all that, I like the last word. It's still a fun gun, it's still one of my favorites. One of my favorite weapons in the entire game is Tommy's matchbook, but unfortunately, the presence of a 120 hand cannon with their damage model doesn't add up with Tommy's matchbook. If I get a magical lobby without a single 120, Tommy's is one of the better auto rifles, one of the better guns in the entire game. But the meta, the sandbox, says that it's bad, so it's bad right now, and we'll just have to wait for some new things to appear, or for people to up their game and start using other things to counter a different presence which might push Tommy back up. But despite it being bad, I still like it. Another example from this season is the stochastic variable submachine gun. It's a trash weapon, even more trash than the Vex mythoclast. But it's one of my favorite from Destiny 2 Vanilla, and I enjoy using it despite it being bad. Does that make it all of a sudden good? No, I'm not blinded by nostalgia. And that's another topic I want to segue into. Some new Vault of Glass weapons came out, and every YouTube thumbnail is saying how Fatebringer is this amazing gun that will change your life and make PvP amazing again. And yet, it's just a basic 140. Sure, it does have some unique perk combinations that can be fun, not really competitive. Think of it the same way as I'm talking about the Vex mythoclast right now, or the stochastic variable. Yes, it can be fun. It can look good. But it's not suddenly going to be competitive unless there's a sandbox change or a player meta shift. Look, friends, we only have so much time in a day, right? Limited time. Maybe you work, play Destiny after school, whatever, right? As a content creator, I want to tell you exactly how a weapon performs so you can decide yourself whether it's worth getting. And I think the Vex mythoclast is trash. It's a fun weapon, but it's trash. If you want to play competitively, don't go for the Vex. It's a waste of your time, and you could be spending that time upgrading your build in other facets if that's what you enjoy, the same as I enjoy it. A lot of people consider me anti-meta, but I've always thought of my content as ahead of the meta, where I think of a counter option and then even a counter option for that. I'll meticulously look at spreadsheets and count timers, min-max stats, that kind of thing, because I can push the game to its limits, and that to me is fun. And that approach also bleeds into my content, where a subscriber knows exactly what they're getting when they click on the video. I will push a build to its limits, I will give you an honest review, and you can take away any information you want from that video to make your own playtime more optimized and reach the goals and playstyle that you find the most fun. That's it. If I say every weapon that comes out is insane, life-changing, then you're gonna waste a lot of time getting weapons that maybe you didn't even like to begin with. To summarize this video, I'm not throwing shade at other content creators because I understand the YouTube game for what it is. What I'm trying to say is that I appreciate my subscriber base. I appreciate the real ones who know exactly what they click subscribe on this channel is getting them. Thank you. Means the world to me. I'll see you in the next one. By the way, Vex is trash. Hope that triggered you in the comment section. Peace.
You fight like a demon for these zones. Bring me your friends. I need more like you.